Welcome to We Are All Fine with Heidi Lester, counsellor and psychotherapist with over 25 years of experience. Together you will explore mental health, emotional awareness and growth with kindness, clarity and practical guidance.
Hi everybody, welcome back to We Are All Fine with me, Heidi Lester. I'm a counsellor and psychotherapist and I'm going to invite you just to take a second with me. If you're driving, just feel the hands on the wheel, or if you're sitting, why don't you feel the weight of your body in the chair? Let's just arrive. Because today we're peeling back the layers on something that feels like a noisy roommate in our heads, that's overthinking. And I hear this in my office every single day. Clients will come in exhausted, their eyes will be heavy, saying, Heidi, I just can't turn it off. I'm replaying that email at 3 a.m. I'm wondering why my friend's tone shifted in that voice note, and I'm rehearsing a conversation I might have had 3 weeks ago. And then, of course, then comes the self-criticism. Why am I like this? Why am I so sensitive? And why can't I just be chill? Now, if that sounds like you, I want to offer you a different lens today. So, what if I told you that overthinking isn't a personality flaw? What if it's actually a safety strategy? Now, in psychology, we call this hypervigilance. Your brain is not trying to annoy you, it's actually trying to protect you. Think of it as scanning the horizon for a storm that it thinks it's coming in, because at some point in your life, that storm did arrive, didn't it? And you may not have felt prepared. So your brain promised this: it will never, ever let that happen again. Let's look at why we started scanning. Let's go back a little moment. To understand why we spin, we have to look at when we first needed to. So often overthinking would have started way earlier in our childhood, in our early years. And maybe you grew up in a home where a parent's mood was unpredictable. One minute they may have been fine with you, and the next they were cold or angry. Or maybe, like me, you had to deal with parental absence and neglect on some level where your parent wasn't around for you. I grew up with an absent father, and when a primary source of safety is inconsistent, a child's brain becomes a world-class detective. So you learn to read the subtext of the silence. You learn that if you can analyse the clues, the way a door bangs closed, the look in somebody's eyes, you might be able to stay ahead of the disappointment. And you learn that that thinking you're doing, that overthinking, becomes a protective shield. As an adult, that shield becomes heavy. Say, for example, when your partner is quiet, your somatic system, it sends an alert. You don't just see your partner quiet, chilling in the corner. You see potential abandonment. So your brain, it starts working again. It starts preparing. And it thinks that if it can solve the puzzle of their mood, it can control the outcome and stay safe. But here's the paradox. Thinking more doesn't make you safer. It just makes you tired and exhausted. And what it does do, it creates a false sense of control while keeping your nervous system in a state of high alert. So how do we tell the difference between healthy thinking and the spin, the overthinking? Healthy thinking, in my opinion, is linear. It looks at a problem, finds the solution, and moves to some kind of action. It ends in a resolution, sorted. Whereas overthinking is the exact opposite. It's circular, it's a loop, driven by anxiety, never clarity. It's like a car stuck in the mud. The wheels are going round and round and round, but the car isn't going anywhere. And when you're in that loop, you will know this, your brain is actually fused with the thought. You aren't just having a thought, you are and you have become the thought. So one of the most powerful things we can do in therapy is a process called cognitive diffusion. Now, it's the art of stepping back. So the next time you're spiraling, try to change the sentence. Instead of everybody hates me, say I am noticing the thought that everybody hates me. Now, it sounds small, almost quite stupid, but it shifts from the actor to the observer. And what happens is it gives your prefrontal cortex a chance to come back online, so to speak, and say, hang on, just wait. I'm watching the movie. Remember, you're the director, not the actor. I'm watching this now. And this isn't the reality of the room or the thinking system that I am stuck in. Because overthinking is a head problem, it's a mind problem, we usually try to solve it with more head work. We try to argue with our thoughts, but you can't talk to a frightened nervous system when it's scared. You have to try and find your way of feeling your way out. So the next time your spin starts, I want you to drop your attention down, literally move it from your head, your forehead, down to the soles of your feet and press them really tightly into the floor. Then you just need to do an inventory here of senses. 3 things you can see, 2 things you can hear, and 1 thing that I can smell. Just smell the air around you. This is grounding. You are now signaling to your brain in here, I am in my body and I am present. There is no tiger in this room. And you can also set mental boundaries. These are really, really important. I'd suggest something like a worry window. So maybe give yourself 15 minutes at 5 o'clock at the end of the day to think about the what if on your list, those worries that wear you out, or write them down. You can be as dramatic as you want to be. But when that 15 minutes is over, you close your notebook, get your eyes wide open if you've been thinking about the what ifs. And if those thoughts do, because they will, drop in at 10 o'clock at night, you gently tell yourself this: not now, I'll pick you up tomorrow. We have an appointment at 5 p.m. This will build cognitive authority. You need to get back in charge of those thoughts. Remember, you are the CEO of your brain, never, ever your anxiety. So can I give you a little bit of truth as we wrap up now? I want to offer you a gentle reflection. Resilience isn't about being perfectly calm, and it isn't about never having a spiraling thought again. We are always going to overthink. Resilience is about trusting that you can cope with what happens when your mind spins. Overthinking, remember, it's an attempt to avoid pain, but life involves pain. I can't stop that for you. And guess what? You've survived 100% of your hardest days so far without needing to predict them so perfectly. You need to remember that. So please be patient with your brain. It has developed those awful loops to keep you alive when things back then felt scary. So thank it for all it's done and just go, it's okay. I've got this now, because you know what? You have. Next week, we're taking this conversation from the mind down into the body. We're going to be talking about those of you who feel like an emotional sponge, the ones who've been told they're too sensitive or they're too empathic. So I'm going to show you why that sensitivity isn't a flaw. There's nothing wrong with you, but a high resolution lens instead of the world. We'll talk about the difference between empathy and emotional overwhelm. And I'll give you the somatic tools to stop catching everyone else's mood like that horrible pesky cold you never want. You won't want to miss this, so please join me. We are all flawed, insecure, nervous and emotional. We are, but until next time, always remember, be yourself. You are no one else. Take care, have a great, great week, and think about, yes, I'm going to spin, but no, I don't always have to tune into those overthinking thoughts. I'll see you next week. Finally, some important takeaways. The podcast is for informational use only and should not be used as a substitution for professional advice or for personal diagnosis. These opinions are personal and I do not guarantee the accuracy of such opinions or information. I am not intending to create a counselling relationship with you, and you should always, always seek professional mental health advice if you're in any kind of crisis or struggling in any way with any concerns.